Ayo, and what's up, everybody? Thank you for tuning back into the channel. And I'm not doing my regular sign on and yelling and doing all that usual fun stuff that we do on the channel because it's very late at night and there are a lot of people sleeping within the confines of the nightmare room, and I don't want to be rude and wake people up. So I'm kind of hunched in and I'm going to bring you this very special news story about something I've been very greatly looking forward to, and that is the WWE Network UK Championship Special. This news just dropped, and I wanted to record this and get this up to you guys so that we can talk about it right here and right now on the Sledgehammer Wrestling Show. Let's do it.
The Sledgehammer Wrestling Show.
What's up once again, everybody? Thank you so much for tuning in to the Sledgehammer Wrestling Show right here on Sledgehammer TV. I am your host, Nick Nightmare, and I'm doing everything very quietly. And I'm going to try to be as entertaining as possible in this quiet voice. But there's nothing to really scream or yell about. If you want to hear me screaming and yelling, you need to go check out the breaking news report with the WWE injury report, because I absolutely lost my mind. We were talking about the Raw situation with the general managers, and I just blew a gasket. I blew a freaking fuse. And between you and me, it's pretty good. It's pretty entertaining. It hurt. I mean, afterwards I had a headache and I felt like crap. My blood pressure was elevated. But it's worth the watch. So go check it out. I'm going to link it in the description right there if you're watching on PC, and you can hit or see that little exclamation point. Pop them right in the mouth. You'll see a list of stuff there you can go back and watch. Make sure you go check that one out. It's definitely worth your time. Trust me, a pretty epic rant, and the first one I've ever really had. But let's get to the reason why we're all very quietly here to listen to me talk about the UK Championship Special, which has now been announced. It's going to air on the WWE Network at 8 p.m. Eastern Time this coming Thursday, which happens to be my daughter's 5th birthday. Very, very big day here in the Nightmare household. Going to be very special. We're going to have a nice dinner and some cake. We'll have some company, and I'll put the little Nightmare to bed, and I will watch the UK Championship Tournament, and I will come here and talk about it with you guys. The show is going to be 90 minutes long, which is great, because if you didn't watch the UK Championship Tournament, you have to go back and watch it right now, and then come back on Thursday and watch this show. It's one of the best things that WWE has put out this year. Absolutely fantastic. And if that didn't sell you, this will. Jim Ross and Nigel McGuinness will be the broadcast team calling the action on this show. I cannot tell you how I cannot wait to hear JR's voice on WWE TV again. It's just going to feel right to turn on the network and hit play on this show. The WWE logo and all the bumps in the beginning are going to show, and we're going to hear Jim Ross call the action live from ringside with Nigel McGuinness, which has fastly become one of my favorite commentators. I was a little unsure of how I was going to receive him when I heard the news, because I've never really heard Nigel McGuinness do a match before. But he is an absolutely fantastic replacement for Corey Graves. He's absolutely wonderful. He's just lovely, as the English would say. I fucking love the guy. And to hear him alongside the greatest of all time, it's going to make the show 110% better than everything else they're putting on. Everything else, hands down. The specials will feature footage from the WWE's tapings, which happened recently in Norwich last weekend. We all knew that, and I have been very, very careful to not read any spoilers because I don't want to know what happens. I've been skirting around the edges of the UK news. This one definitely needed to make air. I am going to be locked in, and I cannot wait to see everything these guys have to put on. And I want to know when it's coming back, if it's going to be how many weeks are we going to get this? Like, this is just an inkling of news about it, but it's worth talking about. The teaming of JR and Nigel McGuinness. We're going to see Tyler Bate, the UK champion, the youngest champion probably in WWE history. I have to look into that fact to make sure it's accurate. And he's going to be going one-on-one with Pete Dunne, I believe it is. And Pete Dunne, as I've said before on the show, quickly became one of my more favorite guys throughout the entirety of the UK Championship tournament. I was very impressed with the showing of Aleister Black versus Neville. That was probably one of the best matches of the whole entire thing. I just really, really enjoyed the overall packaging and presentation of the show. The European style of wrestling is very, very different from what we get here in the States. It's a lot more psychological. It's a lot more of thought-based attacks. You know, like every single thing that they do means something. If they're gonna work your arm, everything they do is gonna work your arm. It's a very technical. That's the word I think I was looking for. Very technical style of wrestling, but at the same time, they are hard-hitting and brutal. Just like Pete Dunne calls himself the Bruiserweight, because he's the toughest small guy you'll ever see. He looks like he's got a body like Fit Finlay, and he's just absolutely vicious in the ring. And he went one-on-one with Tyler Bate in the UK Championship tournament, and it was absolutely fantastic. And I can't wait to see more. It's going to be a happening, in the words of the great Gorilla Monsoon. And I wanted to share that with you guys very quickly. And since I got your guys' attention, we're going to talk about something that I forgot to talk about in the last couple of days, and I'm ashamed of myself for not talking about it. It's been in my notes. It's just kind of slipped my mind as we've been doing the recording, and we're not going to allow that to happen again. And I want to say congratulations to Daniel Bryan and Brie Bella on the birth of Birdie Joe Danielson, and I couldn't be happier. The girl just looked absolutely miserable. My wife follows her on Twitter, and on Instagram, and she's a subscriber of the YouTube channel, and we've been watching them on the Total Divas. We've seen this girl go from the beginning to the end, the pregnancy. She just looked absolutely ready to pop, man. Like, I couldn't wait for her to have it. I was relieved for her to hear. She needed to come out, man. If you've seen any of the pictures of Brie Bella in those last few days, you could just see how much discomfort she was in. And I know from when my wife was pregnant that just towards the end, as much as you enjoy being pregnant and feeling the baby inside of you, you know, you ladies out there, you get to a point where let's just get this over with, because I just want to be a mom, and I just want this out, and I want my body back, and all this other stuff that women usually go through. So congratulations to the Danielson family. And interesting little tidbit, Kurt Angle tweeted out his congratulations to the couple and said, interestingly enough, that, hey, we may not be able to wrestle each other, but maybe someday our daughters will. And I would pay a whole lot of money to see that. Odds would say that the bloodlines are strong enough that would end up being something special if both girls truly decided to follow that path. But I want to say that I would never say never on that Kurt Angle versus Daniel Bryan match. When Daniel Bryan's contract is up, he's going to make a power play. Trust me. Because if the WWE don't let him wrestle, and his doctors say that he can, he's going to go do it somewhere else. And if they allow him to wrestle, he would be remiss to not make Kurt Angle his number one target. And you have that at WrestleMania 34 or 35, however the timeline plays itself out. Because that's a dream match of epic proportions, and I don't think anything would ever be able to top the technical brilliance that would come out of that match. And on the promise of being the shortest video that we have, we're going to wrap it up on that so I don't ramble on in this whisper voice much longer. If you're even still here with me and you were able to tolerate my low and raspy whisper voice, my sexy man voice, and I hope that if you enjoyed it in a sexual way, you know, that's up to you. Here's a little nipple tweak if you liked it. So that's for you guys. Alright? Don't tell my wife. Shh. I'm sorry, babe. Anyway, I am Nick Nightmare. This is Blue the Snowball Microphone. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Don't forget to subscribe. Hit that like button. Follow us on YouTube. Follow us on iTunes, Stitcher Radio, Podbeans for the audio shows. Thank you to everybody who's been talking in the comments. I got you highlighted up there. We got some new guys in the comments in the last video. I haven't put you in there yet, and I apologize. But since, like I said, it's late, and I'll get you up there for the next video. You have my word on that. Thank you guys so much for being here. And we are out of here. Thanks for watching.